at the end of his post-fight that he would love to be a backup fight against DDP and Izzy Adesanya, which is the next middleweight title fight at UFC 305. Now, I like that. I like it, and it gives him the opportunity to wait in the wings. Or, I saw our good friend from the show, Errol Hawani, posted Robert Whittaker versus Sean Strickland. Now, I like that matchup too. The biggest thing in that fight, Robert Whittaker's got to just take a page out of Kamaru Usman's book and basically model what Kamaru Usman did to Sean Strickland. I didn't even know Kamaru Usman and Sean Strickland fought, but I watched it and I saw how Kamaru Usman beat the living hell out of Sean Strickland. And Sean Strickland had the same game plan to walk him forward. His style hasn't changed. Now, if let's go ahead and do a precursor of what could happen. Now, if Robert Whittaker gets the opportunity to fight Sean Strickland, I think Robert Whittaker's got to be able to cross the void and not allow Sean Strickland to dictate the pace and march across the void and do what he does best, which is shut people down. Or if we have Robert Whittaker being the backup fighter for DDP or Izzy Adesanya, we already saw what happened with Robert Whittaker versus DDP. We had Robert Whittaker on the Mighty Cast, and he said his mindset really going into that fight wasn't the best place. So with Robert Whittaker on a tear right now, he just beat Costa. He just beat Ikram. I think he's in a right mind space where I think he can give a better challenge to DDP than the very first time they fought. Now, let's say that DDP gets sick or whatever may happen, and he misses weight. We have no fucking idea what can happen because I cannot predict the future, unfortunately. But if I could predict the future, you would have Robert Whittaker stepping in for DDP, taking on Izzy Adesanya. Now, this is also going to be another rematch. At this point in time, I believe Robert Whittaker was at the peak of his career at that time when he was the champion, and he lost to a young rising star in Izzy Adesanya. Now, that I believe the Robert Whittaker versus Izzy Adesanya is a tougher fight. Reason why is because Izzy Adesanya is a stand-up killer. He ended up knocking out Bobby Knuckles. And I don't know how Bobby Knuckles is going to be able to get across the void and get to Izzy Adesanya. So we'll have to see. But I think all three of those matchups are great. And I also think if you want to do a title contender who's going to be next in line for the belt, I guess you can do Sean Strickland versus Robert Whittaker. And the winner of that could fight for the middleweight title after DDP and Izzy Adesanya get done fighting. Because I think when you look at the landscape of the middleweight division, there really isn't nobody else. Like, nobody else pops in my mind right now. We know Costa just fought Sean Strickland. The fight was very lackluster. We know Robert Whittaker just fought Costa. That was a sick-ass fight. And we just saw Robert Whittaker finish a very young stud in Ikram. So I think if you don't want to give Robert Whittaker the next title shot, have him fight Sean Strickland, have him beat the people's champ. If he's able to do that in spectacular fashion, there's no reason why we cannot see a rematch between DDP and Robert Whittaker or Izzy Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker. So I